how a great number of holy angels were seen coming down from heaven to confer with St. Columba. Likewise, on another occasion, when St. Columba was living in Iona, he addressed the assembled brethren, making his point with great emphasis, saying, "Today I shall go to the Macher on the west coast of our island, and I wish to go alone. No one is to follow me, therefore." They obeyed, and he set out alone as he desired. But one of the brethren, who was an artful scout, took a different route and hid himself on the top of a little hill that overlooks the Macher, where he was eager to find out why the saint had gone out alone. From his vantage point, he could see St. Columba standing on a knoll among the fields and praying with his arms spread out towards heaven and his eyes gazing upwards. Strange to tell, look, there was suddenly a marvelous apparition which the man could see with his own bodily eyes from his position on that nearby hill. This cannot have happened, I think, without the permission of God, who desired that the reputation and glory of St. Columba, notwithstanding his own reluctance, should be made more widely known among the peoples, because there had been a witness to this vision. For holy angels, the citizens of the heavenly kingdom, were flying down with amazing speed, dressed in white robes, and began to gather around the holy man as he prayed. After they had conversed a little with St. Columba, the heavenly crowd, as though they could feel that they were being spied on, quickly returned to the heights of heaven. St. Columba himself, after this conference with angels, went back to the monastery, where he again called the brethren together. He reproached them severely and asked which of them was guilty of disobedience. They protested that they did not know what he referred to, but the man, who was aware of his own inexcusable disobedience, could not bear to hide his sin any longer. He knelt in front of St. Columba in the sight of all the brethren and begged his forgiveness. The saint took the brother aside, laying stern threats on him as he knelt, and charged him never to give away to anyone the least part of this secret concerning his angelic vision, so long as the saint should live. After St. Columba had left the body, the man disclosed to the brethren how he had seen the apparition of the heavenly host and publicly affirmed what he said. Hence today the knoll where St. Columba conferred with angels affirms by its very name what took place there, for it is called Knock non Engel, that is, the angel's knoll. One should take notice of the story and carefully think about the extent and nature of the sweet visits by angels that no one could know about, but which without doubt were very frequent, for they generally came to him as he remained awake on winter nights, or as he prayed in isolated places while others rested. Though a few of them were observed by someone, one way or another, day or night, these were most certainly very few in comparison with the numbers of those visitations about which no one could know. The same applies to certain manifestations of light, of which only a few were observed. Ananes, Ananes, by thy God-inspired life thou embodied both the mission and the dispersion of the Church, most glorious Father Columba. Using thy repentance and voluntary exile, Christ our God raised thee up as a beacon of the true faith, an apostle to the heathen, and an indicator of the way of salvation. Wherefore, O Holy One, cease not to intercede for us, that our souls may be saved.